Alien Romulus is the seventh entry into the main Alien franchise. Ridley Scott, after directing two prequel films, stepped down as a director, but now is a producer. Fede Alvarez takes over as co-writer and director. This movie takes place 20 years after the events of 1979's Alien and 37 years before the events of 1986's Aliens. This time around, Kaylee Spaney stars as Rain. Someone lives in a colonial area, where there is no sunlight, and there's a group of people, including her brother, Andy, played by David Johnson, who want to get out of there and find a planet that is habitable for them. So they're in a team which includes Tyler, played by Archie Renault, Kay, played by Isabella Merced, Bjorn, played by Spike Fern, and Aileen Wu as Navarro. But they find a ship called the Romulus, but instead of finding pods that could get them to their destination, they run into the predators of the xenomorphs. The film is 1 hour and 59 minutes and is rated R. Welcome back to a brand new review here on Max Talks Movies. My name is Max Stenberg, talking all things Alien Romulus. So if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and ring that bell for notifications. Let's get to 250 subscribers. I talk all things movies, TV shows. I do a box office show, movie franchise ranking, and at a theater reaction. So please subscribe, ring the bell, comment down below. Don't give me your ranking of where this stands in the Alien franchise. I will be doing a full ranking of the Alien franchise, but what did you like? What did you not like in non-spoiler fashion? Because I also will be doing a spoiler review. Did you like it? Did you not like it? Does it fit with the franchise? Should we see more Alien movies? If you haven't seen it, tell me, are you not even a fan of this franchise? I respond to all the comments, so definitely comment down below. And also please like the video. Thank you so much. So I was a massive fan of both Alien and Aliens, but I had not watched another film in the franchise until in the last week, and now I am very much engulfed in the Alien franchise, and I love this franchise. I don't think there's only like one movie in the franchise, and you'll see that in my ranking video, that I like harshly don't like. I respect the majority of the films in this franchise, and I was excited to see what Fede Alvarez can do. Again, Fede Alvarez directed 2013's Evil Dead, the new Evil Dead, back in 2013, as well as the Don't Breathe franchise. So excited to see him in the director's chair, seeing Ridley Scott still stay on as a producer. And the fact that usually in these Alien films, we have pretty big ensembles with a lot of famous actors and actresses, but I like the idea that we're getting brand new, young, and up-and-coming actors in this film. So let's get into my thoughts. Now, as I said earlier, I will be doing a full Alien movie franchise ranking, and I have to talk spoilers because what I'm going to say heading in here is that I do recommend for you guys who have not seen maybe any Alien film, I don't know if you're going to find enjoyment. There will be obviously horror elements, but when the lore kind of kicks into the movie, especially the last 30 minutes of the movie, I do think if you haven't seen the majority of the films in the franchise, I don't know if you're going to find as much enjoyment or be very confused about what's going on. So I would, before even starting my review, recommend watching the first 4 Alien movies, as well as Covenant and Prometheus. Alien and the Predator movies are not canon into this franchise, so you just need to watch those movies leading into this. I am gonna have to talk spoilers, so that spoiler review will be coming out tomorrow here on the channel. So overall, I had a really good time with Alien Romulus. I think that this fits a really good spot into the franchise. And I think Fede Alvarez was a really smart choice in the director's chair to this franchise. We've had directors like Ridley Scott, James Cameron, even David Fincher's feature film debut in Alien 3, which was a total mess. Some unbelievable filmmakers have been in this franchise, and Fede Alvarez has that horror element that he brings into this movie. The movie feels more akin to Alien than it does Aliens. Yes, there's action in the film, but it's mostly a straight up monster horror film on this ship, very similar to Alien. And I really enjoyed that. There are 2 jump scares that got me. And I am someone who, it takes a lot to kind of surprise me with a couple jump scares. This movie is definitely one of the scarier movies of the entire franchise. And you can finally feel with this movie how the technological advancements, how far we've come since the first Alien movie, and Fede Alvarez uses that to his advantage. The creature work is really good. There's times where you can kind of see it in the distance. Sometimes you can't, and you're not really sure where the xenomorph is throughout the entire ship. What really worked for me is the two lead performances. Kaylee Spaney, who is now becoming a rising star in Hollywood after Priscilla and Civil War. She's phenomenal in this film. And she plays a character who has a close relationship with her brother, played by David Johnson. And that is the by far and away best character work and story going for this movie, this kind of brother-sister dynamic. And David Johnson, and I don't want to say too much about his character because it's not explored in the trailer, so I'm going to leave it at that, but he has a really tough job here from a performance perspective, and he is excellent in the movie, and the chemistry between Spaney and Johnson works really well. And I did get engulfed and enveloped into this brother-sister dynamic. I really felt for it. I cared about them making it out of the situation. And those two performances are really strong. The rest of the ensemble is very solid. I'll get to that in a little bit in a negative as it pertains to their characters. But as the movie is tense, I was on the edge of my seat, especially in the second act once things start going haywire. The scares are very strong. As if from a technology perspective, there's one scene involving the alien goo from the xenomorph. As you know, in the franchise, it's Burns, and the movie does a really good job as well with gravity. In this movie, there's a couple sequences where they sometimes have to use gravity and sometimes not use gravity. And I really like from a technical aspect and in the movie itself, how well that was utilized. So I really liked those aspects of the movie. Now, as I said, the most of my negatives are going to kind of be spoiler, but I'm going to talk about as much as I can, and I will. I'm not going to even hint at stuff that is spoiler. I'm saving that for my spoiler review tomorrow. But for my main couple issues with the movie, the first one is there is a CGI element, one particular element into the movie that is in a big chunks of the film, and it did not work for me. And it's in the movie a lot. From a story perspective, I get why this CGI character is in the film. I totally understand it from a story perspective, especially fitting in between Alien and Aliens. But from a technical level, from a CGI level, it didn't work. It wasn't very believable. And it definitely pulled me out of those sequences, sadly. The movie goes for a lot of references. I think that the movie should have went for a bit more lore and world building instead of making maybe a couple characters do say some lines that are going to get some applause from Aliens fans, and even my theater applauded 2 times between a line delivery of a character. I felt that was a bit forced and didn't fit the characters that were saying some iconic lines of this franchise. It just didn't work for me. My theater applauded, so obviously I might be on the minority in that fact, but there was a little bit forced references to previous films in the franchise that did not work for me. And then also in the movie, I think hints at connecting between multiple films. I think the movie works, but the problem is it doesn't go too deep into connecting things. I think the movie could have easily taken even a bigger swing in connecting things. I know some people don't love that, but I would have wished a little bit more explanation on the connections between a particular couple of things. Maybe we get that if we get more films with this group and this creative team. And there's a big swing in the final 15 minutes of the movie. And from a design perspective, it was an improvement on another design earlier in the franchise, but that element of a story just has never worked for me in this franchise. So I'm going to leave it at that. There are definitely some negatives in the movie, but the movie is so well made from Fede Alvarez. The movie is scary, tense, edge of your seat. The creature work is very good. You care about the main 2 dynamic in the film. I wish that we could care about the rest of the team, but they really each have one quality about them, and that's why we're there. And a lot of them just feel like they're just there to be killed by the xenomorph in front of our main 2 characters. So I wish there's a little bit more emphasis on the other characters in the film, but I had a really good time seeing Alien Romulus. It was a fun movie to see with a bunch of people. I think this is a really good return to form, continued form for the franchise, and I'm really interested to see where they go. So stay tuned for my spoiler review and my ranking of the franchise in the next couple of days. I'm going to give Alien Romulus a 4 out of 5 stars, a 76% for Alien Romulus. The bottom tier of 4 out of 5 stars, but I really do think the filmmaking, the scares were really excellent in the movie. So I'm giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. What are your thoughts on Alien Romulus? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll see you guys soon.